to this. Come.
Good afternoon,
Please
sir.
come.
Good afternoon.
That.
Thank you.
Rupal, you are a student of mathematics.
Yes.
And what did you take for your optional papers?
So, political science and international relations.
Maths is there, isn't
Yes, sir.
it? That would have got you 100 out of 100.
Yes, sir. It would have been the possibility, but I found political science as an equally interesting subject, and I found joy in reading it.
But what really, I mean, it's a vast subject, so international relations, I think international law, political thought, what really interests you most?
Sir, international relations.
International relations.
Yes.
So I'll ask you about political thought.
Okay, sir.
Who are your favorite thinkers?
Sir, my favorite thinker is Hannah Arendt. Yes.
So can you tell me something?
Yes, sir. Sir, she has contributed in the political theory when it comes to totalitarianism. Her main work is against totalitarianism because she was herself a Jew and born in Germany, and then she got asylum in United States of America, and she has written a lot about totalitarianism, like what is the importance of public participation in political affairs, what is the importance of public sphere, talking about it, the action, the contemplating, thinking. So she has mentioned.
What happened to the Jews? I mean, really, why did the Jews were treated like that by not only the Germans, perhaps by most Europeans? Germany, in the time of Hitler, perhaps more, or rather too much. What really happened? What was the reason?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is basically related to the personal agenda of Hitler. Actually, when authoritarianism comes into picture, then it creates a narrative about it needs a minority to attack to come to power. So that is how the story started. And in Germany, actually Jews were residing, and there a narrative was created against Jews. So he used Jews, the targeting against Jews, as his political agenda to come to power, and that is why he persecuted them. And
whose theory is this? I mean, you were saying this, that Hitler really had nothing to do with the Jews. He was more interested in coming to power, so he thought that maybe let's kill the Jews and come to power. Is that so?
No, sir. Actually, he was for one race and superiority of the Aryan race. So that is why Jews were not included in that. So that is how he created this narrative.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, but not only Hitler. I mean, there was a feeling about Jews really all over Europe. Why? What do you think? Hitler had an extreme position, but generally, if you read, why is it that they are not liked by and large? What really people think about them?
Sorry,
Anything
sir.
to do with money?
I have to. Yes, sir. Sir, Jews overall is in a wealthy community, prosperous community. Even in USA, Jews form a very wealthy lobby. So they have also been the
Yeah,
victim
but
of the.
you don't become. I mean, you may be born wealthy, but you have to become wealthy also.
Yes.
They have to work. Anyway.
So they were also, sir, the victims of the First World War and its impacts. So that is how they were persecuted, and there is a negative feeling against them all over the Europe.
Okay, now you come. You've done your political science and you've this thing, and now you are in the service. Your first choice is the administrative service.
Yes.
And what really, I mean, if you look at it, the administrative system in India, I mean, it's there. I mean, the structural, system is quite old, isn't it? Yes, the administrative service and all that. According to you, when was it started? The administrative services.
Sir, Indian administration.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The historical basis of the IAS.
Yes, sir. Sir, it has a historical context when Britishers came to India. So, to establish their administration and for the governance part of India, they started recruiting and they have British officers here. And that is how this Indian Administrative Service, earlier known as the Imperial Civil Service, also it started. But yes, sir, it has a colonial history and the colonial origin of this service.
So it has that.
Yes.
But so what, I mean, structurally, have any changes been made according to you over the years since the East India Company?
Sir, in my opinion, sir, earlier these civil services and the administrative services were restricted to only few. For example, only the Britishers could apply for it because Indians were generally restricted to the lower rank of the services. And so structurally,
Then the Indians also came.
Yes, sir. So structurally, I think it has been the same. I have to read up more on this.
On the service you're joining.
Yes, sir. No, sir. They structure the comparison with the colonial times and now.
Okay, so now coming from the structure to the job that you are going to do. So, what do you think would be your main job at the field level, say subdivision or district level?
Sir, if I would look at from the point of view of a district magistrate, then the main agenda and the main work service of the Indian administrative servant is to actually implement the policies of the government when we start at the initial level. Then we go up to the higher level when we can play a certain role in the policy making as well, in providing the political policy inputs and some expert opinion. So, but initially, sir, the main agenda is to implement the policies and programs and schemes of the government at the ground level. So, this is the main work of a civil
And who do you think was the first lady civil servant, IAS officer?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it. I will definitely read up on it. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now my colleagues will ask.
You said you'll be able to provide some expert advice when you grow senior. But then IAS is a journalist service. There's no expertise involved. How will you gain that expertise?
Sir, the expertise in this service is gained by the experience that we get by working at the field level.
So you will have experience, say, in state of Uttar Pradesh, of various things, and you land up as a secretary in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So what expert advice can you give there?
Sir, in my opinion, I can present my perspective, what I have observed, what I would have observed at the ground level. For example, in my district, then
The ground level must have been 30 years ago when you joined.
So, for example, sir, I can give you an example of.
In brief, my question is, do you recommend a more specialist service rather than a journalist IAS service?
Sir, I would recommend a healthy mix of both. Expert advice as well.
How to achieve that?
So, for example, recently our government has come up with the lateral entry program in the civil services, wherein at the highest level, at the joint secretary level, some policy analysis and some policy expert advice can be taken into consideration while formulating the policies.
Okay. You have done mathematics,
Yes.
BSc.
Yes.
BSc honors hai ya?
Sir, honors.
Honors hai. So you must be well aware of the Pythagoras theorem.
Yes.
How many ways of resolving this theorem, solving this theorem?
So, solving the formula that we have.
The formula, a square plus b square is equal to whatever c square. That is the formula, no?
Yes, sir. It is the hypotenuse square is equals to perpendicular
And
square
this is C.
base square. Yes, sir.
How many ways of solving this?
Sir, I think, sir, since it is a, sorry, sir, I have to read up on it, but
The piece of paper in front of you.
yes.
Can you attempt to solve it?
So, but to solve that particular thing, I would be needing some numbers, some.
ठीक है ना? ठीक है,
told he did it on sand?
No, sir.
Moved it on piece of sand?
My thing.
Why would you need numbers? Why would you need numbers? So solve it as a square plus a being hypotenuse, sorry, a being perpendicular, b being what is that called?
It's a base.
Base,
Yes, sir.
and c being hypotenuse. Solve it in that manner.
Sir, I have to look into it. The method of deriving it, I'm just aware of the formula.
I don't know. I have tried this on mathematics specialists. None of them have been able to do it.
Sir, I will
They have
definitely
tried
look into it.
trigonometric method, not the geometrical method. What do you think would be your role as a woman leader, not police officer, woman leader? Police officer के काम तो होंगे जो होंगे. As a woman police leader, if you get into IPS,
So my first role.
don't tell me the normal policing functions.
Yes, sir.
Specific woman police leader.
Sir, I think in times of crisis and the clashes, I would be able to bring the women and the feminist perspective into the police services. For example, sir, women are generally tend to incline to more towards peace, and I would be able to bring that angle by negotiation, by having some dialogue and discussions. So that would be my primary.
Women are more inclined towards peace.
Yes, sir.
Is it?
Yes.
Mrs. Indira Gandhi started a war with Pakistan.
Yes, sir. In the times of crisis, definitely.
Golda Meir started wars with neighboring countries.
So definitely, sir. When there is need arise, then we definitely need to look towards hard.
जो घरों में देवरानी जेठानी की लड़ाई होती रहती है.
Sir, but sir, I think if women perspective is taken into consideration, then if there is a possibility to solve the problem.
All right, women perspective you'll be. What else?
So my next agenda will be to, if I would be given this an opportunity, then to, sir, I think being more women into the civil services and specifically in the police services will act as a role model for the future girls and to come into the civil services and police services.
Role model तो हो गई ना Mrs. Kiran Bedi.
Yes, sir. But yes, sir.
Role model. What else?
Sir, I think apart from the normal police functioning, the role that I will be assigned to, and the training that I will get, the roles and the responsibilities, I will cater to that as well.
Would you be able to create much more confidence among the women in the areas that you command?
Yes, sir. Definitely. Yes, sir.
Okay. What is this? Since you also at some stage you mentioned Aryan supremacy.
Yes, sir.
What is this Aryan theory of migration? Some people debunk it, some people vouch by it.
Yes, sir. Sir, some historians are of the view that Aryans migrated from Central Asia. They came towards India. But, sir, at the very same time, there are some historians who actually don't agree with this. They say that we are the native people, our ancestors were the native over here, and they consider them as foreigners. So this is the basic theory of
Any
the Aryan invasion.
archaeological evidence of they having come?
So the horses were not used in India at that point of time, but they said to have it brought from Central Asia. This is one thing. So second is the attire that they wear. For example, the long boots and the coat that they used to wear is also one of the evidence that maybe they were the people that have migrated from Central Asia.
Why did the Indians not wear long boots and all?
So because of the terrain and the climate of India, Indian climate has always been subtropical in the northern regions and tropical in the southern regions.
Final question from me. What is Panipat syndrome?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware of it.
हो गया आपका?
Rupal, why a common man is afraid of policing? I'm asking you because you have a background of police and you have chosen IPS as your second choice over Indian Foreign Service. Do you, it's like you find that going to police is more problematic than getting it resolved through them. Why this perception?
Yes, sir. In our society, there is a negative public perception towards the police. So the number one reason that I find is because there is a lack of diversity and representation of different sections of society in the police services. So for example, according to the BPRD report, there are just only 10.5% women personnel in our police personnel, if we look at it. So there is a lack of sensitization among the police officers. That is why the vulnerable sections of society, they find it difficult and hesitant enough to go to the police and file their complaints, because sir, they think that police may not be able to understand their issue and their complaint. So lack of representation, diversity. So this is the basic reason behind that why police is less sensitized towards the vulnerable sections. So if we have more representation, more people from diverse backgrounds and diverse sections, I think we will be able to change the situation, sir.
Do you think there is a requirement of police reforms in terms of their looking after their welfare, duties? They are into a very difficult time, round the clock duties and all. Do you think that there is a police reform which is necessary? And in a district, if you are an IPS officer, what are the reforms which you feel within the framework of powers available to you, you can institutionalize and put it in place?
Yes, sir, there are definitely police reforms required. So because so there is lack of human resources in the police. So police as an institution is working at just 77% of their sanctioned strength. And sir, on an average, I have seen my father as well. On an average, a police personnel just works for 14 hours a day. It is also as per the Bureau of Police Research and Development report. So sir, this is one of the reforms that we need to fill up the vacancies. We need to employ more people into the police. And sir, second reason about the police reforms is that there is a need to separate the investigation wing and the law and order wing, sir. That is why, sir, there is a huge burden on the police personnel. So that is why, sir, there are some issues in the policing in our country. So these are the reforms that I would like to suggest when it comes to the police reforms in our country.
These are textbook answers. Anything additional? ये तो किताबों में है. Both the points that you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Efficiency of manpower.
Sir,
And
with-
what was the other one?
Sir, separation of
Separation.
investigation.
These are the recommendations, and these are well-known reforms. What is your view? How will you reform your area
This will require institutional changes. You as a district magistrate or even a IPS officer cannot bring these structural policy changes. So what sir is asking, what is the practical solution which you will have at that
within
level?
your realm?
Within your power or within your resources availability?
Yes, sir. Sir, the other reform is that there is a need of training of police in terms of the technology-enabled policing.
Okay.
So, for example, there have been many Supreme Court judgments which are actually propounded by Supreme Court, but not followed, and police personnel are not aware about these. For example, sir, Section 66A of the IT Act was removed by Supreme Court, but still there are some FIRs which are fined under that particular section. So, under my jurisdiction, sir, I would make sure that the police is actually tech-enabled. At least basics technology use they should be able to do. So this, right? Yes, sir.
Or
So for the public, I will ensure that there is more police patrolling in the area to improve the law and order situation. Yes, sir.
okay, what else?
So next step would be to identification of the crime hotspots in my region, so that the crime can be
General policing.
Yes, sir.
Any other reform? Training you had mentioned. Training में tech enabled is one.
Yes.
What else?
So basic awareness about the laws.
What is your view on the soft skills of a police person?
Yes, sir. Sir, in common parlance, it is generally. No. Sir, in common parlance, it is generally seen that police is seen as a hard person to talk to. Generally, the public perception is like that. So definitely, sir, there is a need for the soft training and the soft skills as well when it comes to policing.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. What is this your attempt? Like first attempt?
No, sir, it is my fourth attempt.
Fourth attempt.
Yes.
Okay.
First interview.
Yes, sir.
How you think the transparency and accountability, these are the two aspects of public administration. What do you foresee? How, like RTI and other things, do you think that accountability or the citizens' right to seek accountability has improved administrative efficiency?
Yes, sir, definitely. Sir, the police, sir, when we include citizens and people into the entire system, then, sir, it has been seen that the administrative efficiency has increased. If there is, so for example, we can definitely use there is a widespread use of mobile phones in the cameras. So if the other person is aware enough that the complaint can be filed to the other, to the superior authorities as well, as we have a grievance redressal system. So it leads to the swifter and more faster pace of work in the administration. So, sir, accountability measures like we have social audit, we have included citizens in actually identifying looking at the social audit issue. So, and also transparency with the use of technology. Sir, it has definitely increased the administrative efficiency of our officials.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Okay, Rupal Rana. Do you know someone, Rupal Solanki?
No, sir, sorry, sir.
Not important. She is the first woman DCP of Surat Crime Branch,
Okay, sir,
IPS
thank you.
officer. Since you come from police family and
Yes, sir.
aspire to be in IPS, law and order is a provincial state subject, right?
Yes, sir.
So why not a constable should be going up to become, the top ranking, whatever you want to call it, DGI or DGP. Why this Imperial Central Union IPS? Do we need IPS?
Yes, sir. So because of the the structure that has been instituted in the policing. For example, sir, for a constable to be so the sub-inspector or a head constable, generally it takes 10 to 15 years of service to get promoted to that.
It will be faster growth for them
Yes,
instead of superimposing someone from outside.
yes, sir. Sir,
Has 5 orderlies and 2 chauffeurs and malis and has no clue of what is happening on ground.
so because law and order is a state subject and the lower rung of the police is actually limited to that particular state. And when we look at the Indian police service, sir, it is meant to be for the unity and integrity of India. It is an all India service. A police officer serving in Delhi has also served in Tamil Nadu or Kerala or maybe in other some state. So that is why IPS is needed, because to maintain that unity, to maintain at higher level, to have that all pervasive perspective of the issues that are facing that our country is
So
facing.
the steel frame logic
Yes.
of British times. Okay. Let me ask you something from PSIR that is your subject of interest. We have this 5-yearly legislature, and we are today talking of one nation, one vote. Should this actually be one nation, one vote, or should we continue with multiple elections? India is perennially in elections. Is that the normal way of functioning, everyday democracy we call it? Or you want to have one nation, one election, give a blank check to somebody for 5 years?
Sir, in my opinion, simultaneous elections are a good step in the future. But right now, our country and our society is not ready enough to adopt it. So because recently various assembly elections have taken place, and if we were to implement the simultaneous elections, then we have to cut down their the legislature time that they have, the duration that they have. So simultaneous elections will help in the fiscal as well, the fiscal balance. It will help in that because of the expenditure reduction. and it will also save the manpower, sir, because
So from 5 years, 2 years?
sir, in my opinion, I think we should go for a phase-wise introduction. Like, for example, the Lok Sabha elections is happening recently in this year. So then after 2.5 years, we can have an all assembly elections, wherein assembly elections all over the country. And then again, 2.5 years after, we will have a Lok Sabha elections. So in this gradual phased out manner, sir, I think we should be going with the
Supposing
simultaneous.
the government falls minority in one particular province, then should that government continue as caretaker government for rest of the term or have midterm elections?
Sir, I think for the stability of the country and for the stability of that state, it will be it will be in the positive sense if we have the caretaker government form of.
So basically allowing one particular dispensation authority to be in command and power for 5 years.
Sir, there is also one more recommendation that can be given, that if we are having vote of no confidence, then it should be actually be related with vote of confidence as well. There should be alternative government before the earlier government is going is.
No confidence, we also had practice tried with nota, none of the above. Has it made any difference in voting?
Yes,
When you
sir.
go to vote on booth, when you cast your vote, there's also choice of nota, none of the above.
Yes, sir.
Has that made any difference in understanding where public wants to go?
Sir, it has definitely given us the perspective that the people are less interested in voting for the other parties that are contesting. So it has put forward the public perception in front of the leaders and the candidates that are contesting.
So should we make voting mandatory? It's voluntary as of now, and as you said, 50% people in urban areas don't even go to vote. So should it be seen not just as a right but duty?
No, sir, it should I don't agree with considering it as a duty. Rather, it should be voluntary enough. We should raise the consciousness of our people so that they would be responsible enough themselves to go and vote out for the government of the country. So rather than mandatorily imposing them from the top, yes, sir. So it should be voluntary really only.
Indian elections have also seen whole lot of allegations of fake voting, all kinds of other use of muscle power and disallowing some people from voting. So there is also fear sometimes. People don't want to get into trouble of going for vote. How can we encourage people to vote? If you are in charge of a district, you want to ensure 100% voting in your district. How will you do that? How will you encourage people to go out and vote?
Sir, I believe the only solution lies in ensuring the safety of that particular area and ensuring the safety of the people who are going to voting. Sir, if I am able to ensure the safety of the people, if I am able to ensure that the anti-social elements are not present in the district, so to say on the day of the voting, then people will definitely go to vote. And sir, if we look at the larger and the broader level, then definitely we need to fight this money and muscle power in our elections that we have.
One after another examples come out in media of every time you file your nomination, you have to declare your assets, and how assets of politicians have risen enormously over a period of time, unlike any other profession. Does that indicate corruption to you?
Sir, to a certain extent, not a corruption, but definitely not using the resources meant for the public welfare. A candidate is allocated certain resources to be utilized for the entire duration of his 5 year. But it has been seen, sir, even in practical situation, we have seen that there is lack of development in the particular, sir, at the lowest level, at the district, at the village level. So, yes, sir, there has been misutilization of funds. The funds have not been utilized properly. That is why, sir, we have seen that.
Misappropriation.
Yes.
Is that not corruption? What is corruption for you?
Sir, corruption for me is so not utilizing the public resources and utilizing it for the personal gains or for the other.
That's only one part of corruption,
Yes.
which is financial gains.
Yes.
Corruption could be of so many other ways.
So corruption at an individual level, I would consider not following my duty properly, not adhering to my targets, not adhering to my values, my principles. So that would also be a corruption from my sides.
There's also this often discussion about one nation, one language. How can we resolve that? We have 22 regional languages in the constitution, and we have English, we have Hindi. You think that's desirable? And if it is desirable, is it feasible?
Sir, I believe that there has to be one official language only so that we can have ease in communications. But I do not adhere to the idea of one nation, one language, because, sir, India is known for its diversity, its pluralism. That is why we are known and we are celebrated for our diversity. If we will,
What is pluralism? Since you have PSIR, right?
yes,
So you know pluralism. You also know some proponents of pluralism.
yes, sir.
So tell me some proponent of pluralism. Or what is pluralism?
So pluralism refers to the existence of people of multiple ideologies, multiple races, religions, languages, assimilation of different people, sir. That is what
Or
pluralism
the
is.
fact that diversity cannot be homogenized beyond a point.
Yes.
There is an essential core of diversity which cannot be homogenized. So basically, human universe is diverse and pluralistic. That's pluralism. The first one is Mary Parker Follett, to begin in 1920s, and a whole lot of others, functionalists. Anyway, so my last question to you would be, tell me 3 schemes of Prime Minister Modi that have benefited you personally.
So number one would be Aadhaar, which is being rolled out by the UIDAI authority. So it has impacted each and every person to the personal level itself. So the number one would be, so since I belong to the police family, so I would like to mention one scheme wherein panel hospitals have been included, wherein we have some cards, hospital cards, wherein we can go and
Ayushman Bharat?
no, sir. Ayushman Bharat is for the poorest of the poor sections of society, but there are some, sir, some panelist hospital scheme that is there. And sir, the third one is
UPI?
yes, sir, UPI.
You're doing it every day basis.
Yes.
What is your view on cryptocurrencies? Okay, last question. Is cryptocurrency utopia or future?
Sir, cryptocurrencies are the virtual currencies which provides the benefit of anonymity and which works on the blockchain technology. So cryptocurrency, we have seen the rise in the usage of cryptocurrency by many people, and it has been rising all over the world, not just in India. Sir, it has a potential to be used as a future as a future currency as well. But sir, it has some negative aspects as well because it cannot be regulated. The RBI will not have the information about the currency that is there in our country and the impacts on the monetary policy as well.
Yeah, so far, all currencies have been sovereign state controlled currencies. So that is something new here.
Yes.
I think a formal part of your interview is now over.
Yes.